Hello, this is my flip through video for my 2018 December daily. So let's get started with the album. This is a Felicity Jane album, and I don't know if you could see, but it's like super plush. You see how I push it and it kind of goes in. I love this black and white. It's kind of like black and off-white Buffalo Plaid. There's no spine or anywhere to put you know what year it was, but I love these nice and shiny gold corners, and it's such a high quality album. And one of my other favorite things is the spine rings are gold. So a lot of Ali Edwards albums, they're silver. These are gold, which gave a nice little touch to this album. And there's no pattern on the inside, but as you can see, it's like that nice, like leather. It's such a nice album from Felicity Jane. Okay, we're gonna jump right into it. So right away, the first page you're turning is this transparency paper that I trimmed down. I got this, you could buy like a pack of these transparencies from Staples, and this "You Are Enough" giant gold foil quote sticker is from Me and My Big Ideas. They used to make those giant Mambi sticks, I think they were called. I have like every single pack, and occasionally I'll pull out one for December Daily, make a big bold statement. So "You Are Enough" is the sentiment going into 2018's album, because this was the first Christmas in 12 years I was single. So yeah, my boyfriend and I had broken up the summer before in 2018, and it was just me and Carmen and Alejandro, my two cats, for this December. So I made this cute card with these puffy gold foil alphas. Our little family is a nice little three-dimensional embellishment there. And again, this is a piece outside of the pocket. I made it special with this gold foil treated lined paper, and I just laid it on the paper as I would a 3x4 pocket page, right? But it's outside of the pocket. It's my title page. Take time for reflection. This was my intention and my reason why. So I just kind of talk about how I'm going into the month kind of in a funk, you know, by myself and solo, and, you know, be strong. And it was a very tough year for me, and that's kind of the sentiment here. I also talk about how I'm going to write a letter each day to something. And I got that idea from Brandy Kincaid and what she does in her December Daily album, so that's what I did in this one. And it's a really nice bouquet image of my tree, which, if you watched my 2019's flip through, I used kind of the same tree for my intention in 2019, but it was in focus, right? So blurry, in focus. I like kind of repeating themes throughout the years, because to look back and compare, like I was a little foggy in 2018, but things were really super clear in 2019, right? Those little poetic, you know, style statements. Then I've had this gold foil reindeer card forever. Like, I love my December Daily stash because it carries me from year to year to year. And then whenever I finally feel like I have the right spot for something that I've saved forever, I love to pluck it out and make it work. So that was this card. On the back, I included lyrics from Norah Jones' song December. It's like the theme of November 30th for me. So every time November 30th rolls around, I play this song on loop. It's really sweet if you've never heard it. And then what I've been doing in the past December dailies, I always do it, is do like a November section before I jump right into December. I did it in my 2019 album too. So like sandwiched in between these Ali Edwards transparencies, I did November, and I kind of did that the same here. And as you can tell, I have a tab November. This was a tab from a Happy Planner, a gold foil tab that I trimmed down and adhered, and it worked so nicely to mark that this section's November. And then a December tab, same kind of thing. It was in a Happy Planner that I had, this gold foil December, and now I can clearly see November and December. I loved how that worked. So I clipped November's together with this nice little gold paper clip. Again, the same gold foil paper as that front piece, right? A little repetition there. I sandwiched this in between this photo and this paper. See that? So it just works nicely as a little tab. And then I have some November moments. This was all kind of stuff that reminds me of the holiday season, starts making me feel warm and cozy, and it's usually like a week before Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving kind of all rolled into one, right? So making my mom's cure-all chicken soup, so that was a big warm and cozy holiday memory. And then I put like this nice little vellum patterned piece in between. And what was happening, since then I fixed it, but you have to be careful what photo paper you get. So this is like a nice glossy HP photo paper, but sometimes when I put the photo papers together, they stick, right? The ink kind of like fuses, so putting a little element here is nice. And then I like that once this is over here, your focus goes here, and then when I flip the vellum this way, your focus goes here, right? So we went to a comedy club the night before Thanksgiving. This was earlier in November, but my little baby cousin Raylan playing the piano, kind of like a little Christmas carol type of feel, so I included that. And I went as minimal as humanly possible. So a nice little box of Christmas decorations was my go-to this year for decorations. And then that box turned into this kind of look of Christmas, right? So I just included that. It was something I did even before December started. I just wanted the look and feel of kind of what that Christmas looked like, right? So that was all in November that I put in this little tiny section. And just like that. Okay, now I'm ready to jump into December. So for December 1st, again, I did a lot in this album outside of pocket pages. Brandy Kincaid did that, and I was really inspired by a lot of her past albums. So full page for number 1, nice mint chipboard 1, little, what do you call those, like pockets, vellum pocket, whatever, you know, like bakery pockets, and a little Dear December. Again, I wrote a letter to something every day. So for 1, Dear December, and it's a cute little sentiment, and it goes double-sided on the back. Punched a hole, little ribbon, just so that it's easier to pull. Day 1. Day 2 was this full page spread, and it was these pink snowflake ornaments that I got. I talk about Dear December 2nd, how original, and then XOXO Amanda, I kind of stopped doing that, but that was a little motif of mine, you know, at the start of it. And I love this. This was a pink chipboard sticker, and I just put this cork 2 on top, and it made a nice little frame tied in with the pink. Love that spread. Okay, so day 3 was a doozy. Day 3 encompasses this whole spread. Again, I told you in summer I broke up with my boyfriend that I had for 3 years, and he had moved in, and then he had to pack and move out, and it was a really tough few months. But I thought, like, you know, it's okay, we're apart and we're single, and even though, you know, we're single together type of bullshit that your mind plays tricks on you to do. And on this Monday, December 3rd, I had worked a full Monday teacher, hard, late day, right? And I got out of work and I checked my phone, and I don't know why I was still friends with him, because, you know, you're stupid. But I saw that he had been dating someone else, and he took her to a wedding. And I broke down in the car. It was like the grief kind of all hit me at once. And that was my story for day 3. So this is kind of the image of me in the car. If you already look through my flip through for 2019, you can see that a year later, I'm just fine, right? I had met Tom within the year, and he's the one. So, you know, I did like a sentimental dear year later, like I'm fine, right? Kind of thing. So, but 2018, I was not so fine. But I love that I have that documented. This is one of my favorite spreads in the whole album, because it kind of sets the tone of like, it was a hard December. This was an album that I made because I needed the making process and the journaling process to get me through this tough month. So it's a wildly different feel than 2019 if you've watch the flip through video of that. But yeah, so big full picture of me, black and white, made tears out of like nighttime paper, big gold foil 3, little Monday. And then this was a really dark night, and on my street they line the electric poles with like nice decorations and light. So this is a gold foil Mama Said There'll Be Days Like This, and I love that sentiment to pair with like a broken up kind of spread, and Dear Grief and Devastation. So yeah, feeling all the feels. And then for day 4, I did not include a photo, but I love this white little sparkly 4. And then for each one of these, I just jotted down like a 3-lined kind of like get out the emotions kind of thing. So discarded snotty cry tissue, really tough sleep, broken fucking heart, Excedrin migraine pill, 0 amount of energy. So just little jots on these cards that is of what happened on day 4. So can't get them out of my head. They look so happy. So this is just me like venting kind of what happened the day before. But if you notice, 2 things that happen on day 4, I have like these teal stars on, and it's supposed to tie into this dashboard. Look for the good. So in this really hard day 4, there were 2 sweet things that happened. So my student James gave me a sweet loose leaf birthday card. It was like 3 weeks late, but it was the sweetest. And then Malachi was petting my hair when he was talking to me. Like, it was the 2 sweet moments that stood out. So look for the good. This dashboard kind of ties into day 4 like that. And a lot of these really nice like things that make my album special are happy planner dashboards that I trim, right? So like the happy planner has such high quality good art. Like if you're done with your planner, don't throw it out. Like save the dashboard. You could use the tabs, use the really nice artwork in it. So this is, because I don't have a number on here, this is all still day 4. So this is my sister's apartment that I can see from my parking spot. So I looked up and saw her tree shining through. Then I visited her apartment, and this is like a close-up kind of detailed version of her tree. And I love these 2 little ornaments, which when I'm looking at them now reminds me of Tom and me. Like I always look like in the past of like signs of things that happened in the future, like good little like omens, I guess. And this kind of was, I noticed this. And then a year later, I was having, Christmas with the man of my dreams. Dun, 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 right? So it's like adorable. This currently was, again, in a happy planner dashboard. So I just cut it out. I adhered it. Like a lot of people buy those like clip-ins that like big name companies make, but I just make my own kind of thing. Just sandwich them in between. Right, so this currently list was just from a happy planner dashboard, and now we're up to day 5. So for day 5, oh no, I'm not finished. So this flips up. Da, 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 da. So on day 4, I had sushi with my friend Christine because I was really sad. And this talks about Dear Sushi Dinner. Like I wasn't gonna go, but I'm so glad I went. And then say yes to things was her advice. So I included that in the photo and the little journaling there. Okay, so day 5 was this new robe that I got in the mail, and I wrote a letter to my robe. So dear cozy flannel robe. And it's things like this that make this particular album like special and stand out and different from like 2019's album, because I was in such a weird place, like emotionally and mentally, that I was writing to my robe. And like this robe, I said something like, wearing you around the house made me feel like I had company, right? Like it was so cozy and like so cuddly that like I had no one in my life to do that beside the cat. So like the robe, I was just spitting it out, right? But I love that. It's really how I was feeling, and this robe kind of made the whole feeling of Christmas kind of swirl together like on my body. I don't know, I'm very poetic sometimes. Nice little backing here with this red pine paper. I punched stars from this paper to kind of go with this spread, and it matched the twine that I included. And I love this, like, so day 6 was to my work Christmas party and the French martini that I got because I wanted a mango martini, which they did not have at the place. And the waitress brought me this as a substitute. So I never ordered this, and it was delicious, right? So one little shot of that martini, a little journaling, some elements that tie in with part of this spread. Love day 6 and how that came out. Okay, so day 7 was a lot of fun because I found, let me see if I can kind of give you a close up, but you see like, it's legit a toy that I adhered into my December daily album. I found it on the street. So I had left my Friday work day of school kind of down. It was a rough week since that Monday of crying in the car. And I was just so like down on this Friday walking to my car. Like usually the school day kept me busy and distracted enough where I didn't think about how sad I was. But then when I left the building and walked to my car, all the anxiety kind of flooded me. And I found this squid like right next to my car. So I picked him up. I'm like, yep, you're going to my December daily. And so we did. And then I wrote a little letter to this found squid saying like earlier that week I had read the kids this book called Actual Size, where you flip through the book and it shows you the actual size of things, and one of the things in the book is the eye of the giant squid. It's like the size of a basketball, they said. So this reminded me of reading them that, and it kind of lifted my spirits. So that was day 7. Day 8 was this nice kind of translucent 8 on a, again, trimmed down transparency. And it was a letter to my new gym, Fit Body Boot Camp. And yeah, just like that was the first day back to a new gym and me trying to take care of myself. They took this really nice photo and I just kind of faded the top into white so that I'd have some blank space for journaling. Yeah. Sorry, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. My cat's over here being a pain in the butt. Yeah, so day 8 was to my new gym. Day 9 was a Saturday, and I had scheduled, had written on my planner for like the longest time since I knew that it was happening. Petco does photos with Santa. So you only have to donate like $10 and you can sit with Santa. I was first in line, and because I was first in line, I wouldn't recommend being first in line on the first day because the amateurs at Petco didn't know what they were doing. So they took some pictures of me and my cats, but they like deleted them or didn't know how to save them properly. So Alejandro was like having a fit, so I had to put him back in the carrier, and I ended up only getting a picture with Carmen, which is kind of sad, but like hilarious. Like oh God, sorry guys. But I remember the memory, right? And then I went home and took my own, and by that time you can see on their faces, like they were so over it. But I'm obsessed with this photo. This was a paper that Amy Tangerine designed, I think in her +1 collection. And so it had already this like cute little photo frame, added us there, the little sparkly 9. I love this page. But then of course I had to include like the Petco picture that was, subpar. And then I talk about dear photos with Santa experience at Petco, right? And kind of journal about that. And that was day 9. So day 10 is this full spread. Here's to December, a month of, and literally everything Morgan Harper Nichols. I love her. She does like nice art and stuff. She has a great Instagram and she does like prints. Everything she journaled here summed up my December. So I included that. And day 10 was my one little word, found. So that was going to be my one little word for the upcoming year. And I talk about that here, right? So like another flip up. I talk about my one little word. We talked about it on the podcast, so I included the podcast logo. And this was just, I can't move because my cat is right here being annoying. But this was a quote from Pinterest. It had my word in it. And it all kind of talks about my one little word, day 10. Day 11, I had this rush hour card. I took this photo on my commute to work. So I say, dear long commute to work, and kind of talk about how it was annoying in the beginning, but I've kind of grown used to it and I can appreciate it, right? So I loved, like sometimes things just work out like so serendipitously. There's lots of hints of this like warm red, and there's blue here. And warm red and blue, right? So like this card that says rush hour to match the content of the photo had the same colors of the photo. Like it's just amazing to me sometimes how that works out. So then I created this card with the blue to match the blue and the blue, and this pop of red to match the red and the red. Like I like to tie, if it's gonna be cross spread, I like to tie in elements that kind of match. And then this is more day 11. After my work day, I went to our friend Maggie's like garage gym with Christine, right? She was a good friend to me in December, trying to like pop me out of my funk. So this is just a little bit of 2 little shots from the gym. And then day 12, let them be little. I love this 12 card, added a nice December sticker, and we had a field trip. So we went to the Transit Museum, there you go. So there's my little journal card about the field trip, day 12. And let them be little, of course, refers to my class. Okay, so day 13 is this whole spread. Another Happy Planner dashboard. The future of the world is in my classroom today. The Happy Planner made teacher planners, so I love that a lot of the dashboards are teacher themed. So in my classroom and kids and blah, blah, blah. So pink and green, nice motif for Christmas. Paired it with this pink card over here, 13 gold foil numbers. I'm not bossy, I'm the boss. And I use this card because it was my friend James's birthday. And he was telling me since September that his birthday was December 13th. Like hilarious. Like, you know my birthday is December 13th? You know my birthday is December 13th? So another Happy Planner dashboard up here. And then Dear James. So I wrote to James because he was hilarious, one of my favorite students of all time, and it was his birthday this day. Okay, so day 14 looks like this. This fa la 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 was a really nice felt garland that I got at the Target dollar spot, which I also mentioned in my 2019 flip through. This star element and this reindeer element, and for example, this Santa element I'm gonna use in my 2020 album. All came from a garland from the Target dollar spot. Like never underestimate dollar stores, the dollar spot for things like this that you can include. So this fa la la kind of again was stapled to 2 transparency sheets. This was a dub smash of me being ridiculous, and it says past because it was from Christmas past, and I just wrote a little bit about, you know, the girl who had fun with social media a long time ago, and how I want to get back to being that person, and you know, I got to break out of this funk was kind of day 14's journaling. So day 15, I love this. I don't know, like some things just serendipitously happen. So this is an actual leaf that I put through my laminating machine, like on a whim, and I had it on my bulletin board, just like hanging out, being cute. And then on day 15, I walked to the dumpster behind my building, and it was pitch black night. It was a full moon, and I looked up, and there was this leaf just kind of not this particular leaf, but a leaf just like spinning down to me, and it was like I was watching it, and it like landed on my head. Like it was very like, you know, poignant. So I wrote to that, and I just so happen to have a laminated leaf, so I included it with day 15. This is another Happy Planner dashboard, nice gold foil. And what I love about things like this is the same design is on the back. So I don't have to think about what to put on the back. It already has the design on the back. This was a drawing that my student Ashley drew with a reindeer, and I believe that's Santa. Adorable, included it. So this is a restaurant that I would eat at pretty much every Friday when I would go into the city for therapy. And so it says something wonderful, a Happy Planner sticker, this spicy beef noodle soup. So I would get this every Friday, and I talk about it. So dear spicy beef noodle soup, I kind of included that behind in a little, you know, slip through kind of thing with a tab that I created myself. Day 16? Yeah, 16. This spread I love for day 16, I actually wrote 2 letters. One's to the soup and one is to my OCD. So I would go every Friday to therapy in the city to get treated for OCD. So I kind of write about OCD here and how, like, you know, you took a lot from my life. I'd had OCD for 22 years before I knew what it was and knew how to treat it. So this is me talking to it because this was the year 2018 that I finally found the right therapy, right? So I talk about it. Don't believe everything you think is like a, nod to OCD, because that's what happens. You just get obsessive thoughts and you believe them. And this spread I love because it really is the story of 2018. Day 17 was all about the podcast and how we turned a year old, right? So dear podcast and dear Kristen Tweedale, who's my co-host, A&K, we had taken this photo booth picture earlier in 2018. So you see how, like, I want to point out, just take a pause here, how sometimes I include a photo from the actual day, like Allie does in her December daily, like day by day. But in a spread like this, and especially this album where I'm kind of talking to the whole hard year or the whole good, like a few good things from the year, this is an example of that. So like, this is the day that the podcast was a year old, but I'm talking to Kristen and what she did for me this year, and I'm talking to the podcast and what it meant to me. So you don't have to do daily stories. You can pull things from your year and do a kind of year in review on some days of your December daily. I think that that's totally cool. And then another vellum page in between, because both of these were printed on that photo paper, like I said, and sometimes the photo paper like sticks. So it was just a little buffer in between these two pages for day 17. So day 18, I created this Christmas carols template and numbered and just had a place to journal the songs I was listening to this year. And if you go down the list, they're pretty heavy or pretty like ballady and hoo-hoo-hooey, you know. A lot of Alanis Morissette. She was my celebrity spirit animal of Christmas presents. No, I call it my celebrity spirit of Christmas present. So that's another thing that I just want to pause and talk about. Actually, I'll talk about it later on in the album, my celebrity spirit of Christmas present. That's something I've been doing since 2018, is kind of picking a celebrity whose persona encompasses like my spirit of the season. So Alanis Morissette was 2018's, and her You Ought to Know, there she is. So I made this template in Photoshop, and then I left a little space for some fun over here, which I love. Like just little things, little collages I could put in and have fun with. So I liked that a lot, that little element. This was a 3D card that I loved. And if I find holiday cards that kind of match my style and match colors that I use, I like to buy them and use them in my December daily as like accents. I don't necessarily need to write them as cards. I use them as accents. So Dear Soundtrack was one letter that I wrote. It was the letter that I wrote for day 18. So the music, kind of what I was listening to and how I said, you get me, right? Like sometimes when I explain how sad I was, like people are like, yeah, get over it. But I felt like the soundtrack of this month really understood me, right? Like so emo, so moody this month. And then the anchor in, I included here with a little magic tab because I was listening to the song Anchor by Novo More when I passed the anchor in, right? So it was like, I looked for signs and omens this month, I don't know, and included them whenever I realized them. This was just a photo I included because my ponytail was so awesome that day. Here's another currently from a dashboard that I filled out. This was the tree from the classroom. I had this little shitty like $5 tree, this teal like gaudy tree in the classroom, and I had the kids like design their own ornaments out of paper. Like they were nonsense, but here's a little Spider-Man one. But I love it. Like it just kind of summed up our class that year. And then this was a fun cartoon I found on Instagram, Couch Time, where the person jumped on the couch, got cozy, and then became one with the couch. And that was totally me this week. So just like coming home from work and becoming one with the couch, it's beginning to look a lot like fuck this. Perfect. And I love, just to take a moment, I love that this is all sandwiched in to day 18, right? All these layers of like big, little before flipping the page to the next day. 5 days left till Christmas. here's that picture from Ashley that I included earlier, right? So this is just another scene from my classroom. So day 19 is this full spread, and I photocopied this picture of my mom, my grandma, my mom's 2 sisters, and my mom's brother. And of everyone in this photo, my Uncle Jimmy is the only one that passed away. So you can see I kind of like vellumed out the family and left my Uncle Jimmy. And this is, day 19 was dedicated to him. It was the anniversary of his death. So I wrote, so this is interesting. So I printed my journaling on a transparency so that it could lay over this. I felt like this was a planet, and I added these stars to make it look like outer space, because I just imagined me writing to my Uncle Jimmy, like past the comets to heaven. You know, and I kind of talk about how like I'm so sad, and him and my Nana, you know, I hope are rooting for me and stuff like that. And so I just wrote a letter to my uncle in heaven. Oh, and so I took this off. That's why this disconnected. But so this clip kind of holds these 2 pages together, so they turn together when I turn. But the journaling for my 10 days of stockings is here, right? So dear 10 days of stockings. Another thing I did in school was these 10 days of stockings. So I had a small class in 2018. There was only 12 of them, so it was easier for me to do fun things like this. So I hung like these tiny little stockings on our whiteboard, and you know, put their numbers. They each have numbers, and I put those numbers on the stockings, and so each one of them had a stocking. And for the last 10 days of school, I filled the stocking every morning with like a fun prize. So the same numbers, I believe I got these number stickers from the Target Dollar Spot. Again, like never underestimate the Target Dollar Spot. So I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like the same stickers that I used for their stockings, and I just included a picture of what I put in every day. So like these red Ray-Bans, the snowflake plushie, these light up rings, like a little notepad and pen. So like I love that I use this grid to remind me what it was that was in the stockings every day, along with the numbers, right? So cute. 10 days of stockings. So day 21 on this nice vellum piece, star, and I did this embossing on these mint numbers because Allie usually does that, and I was just inspired to do that day. So 21 was a letter to my class, and notice what they're wearing, the red Ray-Bans that they got in their stockings. And I sent this out to every teacher in the building that that dealt with them, you know, that taught with them. And it said, it had a picture of them like this, and this was the front of the card. Merry Christmas from the coolest class in school, and they were so cute. And then this is my letter to them, dear coolest class in school. And I just talk about how I'm like, feel lucky to be their teacher, and so cute. So then Miss E and me are ready for vacation. So this was the last day of school before Christmas vacation. That's my para, my teacher's assistant, and me, and we're just so ready. So day 22, I marked with this nice like number line and then some arrows at 22. And it was a Saturday, and I went out with my friend Jamina, and we had like a girls' dinner and kind of chatted about life. And then I found these words, you are so cool and intelligent and strong and fierce, and that's kind of me, you know, and that's the sentiment here, dear you. I wrote a letter to myself at the start of the Christmas break. And then I included this like full moon photo with another black 22, like lots of black, lots of emo in this album, but it conveyed how I was feeling. So day 23, Allie had released these around the house free kind of circles. So I included them on a little grid sheet and things from around the house during Christmas break. On the 23rd, I went shopping at our mall, and it says, "'Tis the season, shop today," and felt like I was gonna cry, right? So I wrote a letter, dear sad shopping day. It's a big one, and it folds out like that for day 23. Day 24, Christmas Eve, wrapping paper. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how this will work out, and I'm very anxious about it. This is like how I was feeling on Christmas Eve. And then I write about how like my 2 ex-boyfriends, I was wearing their clothes. Like this was my first ex-boyfriend's shirt. These were my ex-boyfriend that I broke up with in the summer, sweatpants. And like this was Christmas Eve was always for the boyfriends. Like I would always go to the boyfriend's family. And this was the first Christmas Eve that I wasn't. So I kind of talk about what happened on Christmas Eve, how I ended up falling asleep early and it was relatively no drama, and yeah. And then I had to include my little baby cousin Raylan and her Santa picture, hilarious. And then 25, the 25th, right? So this is now moving into Christmas on this pink vellum. And it was like all bendy and like thrown and strewed into like my stash, but I don't care. I think it works. It's cute. And I like how like the green pops are kind of muted and the pink match the pink of her of Raylan's shirt. So I try to like in a spread, I try to make things repeat and be continuous. And now this was a big hit. This is my page of wrapping paper. So on Christmas morning, I kind of steal like a little bit of the wrapping paper that we use, and I've created this like remember the wrapping paper. I did that also the following year in my 2019 album. If you remember, I did it in my Flip-Thru here. So I made another page, same kind of thing. And I think I'll do like a video tutorial of how I do that, right, in my albums. So I'll do that this year. That's on my list to show you how to make one of these. They're a lot of fun. Okay, and this was, so I did for Christmas Day, a Christmas morning side and a Christmas evening side. I've had this pink morning card and this navy evening card forever, and again it worked perfectly in this stash because I just added Christmas and Christmas happy planner gold foil stickers, so it says Christmas morning, Christmas evening, works so nice. Yeah, so Christmas morning was this pink, a little journaling for about Christmas there. The no phone zone, I designed this just to match the colors and stuff and have something to put in here and to put inside Mom's card, Christmas card that she made me. And then on Christmas evening, we went to my aunt's house, me and my cousin Claudia and all the ladies I was around for Christmas evening. And then this little piece here I just included because this white star kind of goes with the morning and the back dark navy star goes with the evening. So it's just another little element to have fun with. And I always do my December dailies through to the 31st, to New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, right? So the 26th, I just dedicated to the plants that I grew in 2018. So I documented their growth here, what it looked like on the 26th all full, and then yeah, deer windowsill plants. And then for Christmas, my sister got me this like watercolor and this like resist part, kind of like an adult coloring book, but it was meant to do watercolor on. So I watercolored this cactus and trimmed it and included it in my December daily. So it kind of goes with like the Christmas theme. This is one of my Christmas presents from her. So day 27, okay, day 27 I love talking about because underneath this was like this whole, oh man, stick that better. But underneath this gold foil like dotty thing was a whole spread that wasn't working, and then I just went whoosh, like completely simplified it by adding this gold foil like abstract dot pattern, a 27, this little bow, and just told it like it was. Dear Quickie Car Wash, yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. So I had a car wash on this day. This lets me know that. I didn't even need a photo. Gets right to the point. And then on this side, I included a pocket. Good things are gonna happen with some things that happened from the day, just like bulleted. I kind of like bookmarks, I guess. I made it with, this is with the We Are Memory Keepers tab punch. So I just like designed some things to put in the pocket as journaling for day 27. Day 28 was a rainy day, as you could see. So it was like puddly and perfect to match my mood. But I had watched the movie, is it called Life? Let me see, I might have the, let me see, the evening, what did I do? Wait, I think it says it here. Hold on. I watched a movie. I think it's called Life. I don't know. It wasn't that good, but this was the quote at the end of it. Life brings you to your knees. It brings you lower than you think you can go. But if you stand back up and move forward, if you go just a little farther, you will always find love. So that was, the whole movie wasn't that good, but getting to the end with this quote was worth it. So I included it in my December daily. Here's another happy planner dashboard. I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning how to sail my ship. So day 29, I took myself to church. You know, if the rest of the album didn't tell you the mood I was in, day 29 should really solidify it. So this was, I had hand cut a little flame out of white glitter paper to put in the candle that I lit. A red glitter 29 to go with the red from the candles. Have faith on this transparency. Another big Me and My Big Ideas foil sticker. The red matches the red, of course. Oh, and where's the journaling for this? Is it here? There we go. So, dear reader, and a little letter to my reader. And then on this side, I'll always remember us. This was 8 pictures of me and my ex-boyfriend. And so when I went to church this day, it was just me, like, basically putting an end or a period on us and like asking God to like help me, you know, with the next part, next chapter kind of thing. So that was in there. Day 30 was me being super emo, all black because I'm a crow bitch. We had a dinner, a 70th birthday dinner for our neighbor, and I just wore all black because I'm so emo. And then I love this here. Have yourself an emo little Christmas, let your heart bleed out. So a little play on words. And when you're emo and when you're emotional, this is exactly, you know, what you want. Then I had this like black and white marble, again, repeated up here. And dear emo Amanda, and I just go, right? Like I love this letter in here. You can see it on my website where I kind of zoom into it, but yeah. So day 30 was all about being emo. Best 9 2018. This is what was generated, and this is what I included. Me and Kristen with the podcast do like my true best 9, right? Like we always kind of say like, don't give in to just what followers are responding to. What would you say are the best 9 moments of your year, right? So I kind of included that there. Just a little gray, black and white cards to be a background for this graphic. And then 31, New Year's Eve. This is what I did New Year's Eve. Nothing crazy. I found this Keep Going card on Pinterest and made it into a printable card. This was by Emily McDowell, A Toast to the Old You. And it's talking about like, you know, the old you, you know, besides going to the new year, like new me, the old you has done some pretty great things. So that was good to hear and listen to. This was me at the gym again, the new gym that I started that month. And then here's me and the cats, and I kind of talk about how we started this year as a family of 4 with my boyfriend, of course, that was living with me, and we're exiting this year as a family of 3, like just me and the cats. And you know, it's a nice sentiment. It's me saying like, here we go, like new start, just us 3. And then I write to this hard year and say, even though it's hard, you know, what this year has equipped me with, I'll forever be grateful, right? So, you know, this was a tough December, but as you can see, you can still make fun, beautiful things in your December daily. And then, why not end it with another happy planner dashboard? It always seems impossible until it's done. Perfect sentiment for this like hard month that I didn't think I was gonna get through in one piece, and I did. And then I always include a pocket with cards that I got from the month, Christmas cards, and I storyboard, right? So because I'm a busy working teacher, the way that my 6x8 albums get done is I storyboard. So as you can see, day 3, you saw what it looked like. Day 2 with my stars. So the storyboarding, there's my squid, right? So like how hilarious that it really, really helps me to storyboard kind of what my December daily is gonna look like. And then on the weekends, I fill it in based off these storyboards. So that's it. This was like a 45-minute freaking video. Thanks for sticking with me. I love this album to death because it's wildly different from 2019's A Year Later, which was just, you know, the first one with my now boyfriend Tom, who's the one who, like, all December Daily albums will include from now on. And this was my last one, you know, without him going to be in it. And my last one as a single lady, right? But it was a lot of fun. I love this project so much. If you have any questions, you know where to contact me. And thanks so much for tuning in. And I'll see you on the flip-flop.